Hey, what's up guys? It's Sammy, and I'm here with another tutorial for MX Simulator. This tutorial is going to be focused on how to host a race. Now, for those of you who don't know what hosting a race is, it's basically when you see in the racing part of the forums and people are like, we're having this race at whatever time in whatever server, and we're going to have these classes and stuff like that. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's not only is it hard to get it organized and get everything working correctly, but you also need to get a server and you need to be able to run scripts or know how to put people in game at least and put people in play mode. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. You could use some kind of, I don't know, spreadsheet with people's names and their UIDs and stuff like that. You can type them by hand, which is what a ton of people do, and it's not a bad way to go. It's straightforward. It's just a time-consuming work. But what happens there is if you have something that say like broadcasts their name, it's gonna have everyone's name in there regardless of if they're in server or not. So with that being said, there is a better way to do this, and it's reasonably difficult to create. But I have actually made this program here, or it's really a script, but I call it a program because it's a bunch of scripts compiled into one thing. So it basically does all the work for you. And as long as you follow this guide, you won't need to really know anything else. But with that being said, if it doesn't work correctly, which it might not all the time, then you probably are going to need to have some either programming knowledge or just general knowledge about what to do in problems because um, there will be problems for sure. But not necessarily bad problems, just stuff's gonna go wrong and you're gonna need to know how to fix it. So if you're not thinking that you're going to be able to do that, then I would highly recommend not using this. And also, this has only been tested on maybe 4 or 5 computers, and it's worked fine. But there could be some kind of problems. But if there, I really don't think there are. And for me, it's been fine for months. But if there is, it's not my fault. So don't hold me responsible. But anyways, um, let's just get into it. I have this folder here. It has all the files we're going to need to go through this, all in one place. So to start off, it's coded in Python. Python is a programming language, and you're going to need to get it for this to work correctly. You can just go to python.org, just Google Python, and that should come up. And what you want to do is download Python 2.7 or any version of 2, the most recent version of 2, because there's a Python 3.0 out now, and it's got some syntax changes. So basically if you download Python 3.0, like anything higher than a 2 version, then this isn't going to work because it's coded in 2. So yeah, get the most recent version of Python 2. It should still be Python 2.7. They won't be updating it. It's gonna stay like this. But if they do for some reason, yeah, But anyways, once you've done that, it's straightforward to install Python. It's very easy. It's just like installing any other program. The first thing you need to do, the very first thing before you do anything, is you need to go in here, go into your computer, go into your C drive, and create a folder called scripts. Just like this, the same folder, scripts. And in that scripts folder, you need to create another folder named just like this, UID export, and that's it. So you need those two, and once you have those two, you're good for that part. The next thing you need to do is going back in there, in your Python 27 folder. That will come when you install Python. And these files, I'll have a download for this, but in this folder, that is where you're going to drag the files from. So these 4 files that you're going to find in this folder, you're going to just drag and drop them into your Python 2.7 folder. I already have them, so I'm not going to do that, but yeah, it's not going to do that for you. As you know, I'm sure you've downloaded stuff before. But, so that should complete the installation. From now, there shouldn't be any problems as far as that goes if you followed exactly what I did. So to actually run the program, all you gotta do is double click this. And it's gonna pop up with these 2 windows. It's very bare bones. It's not the best code. I know it's not, but it works, and it's worked for me, and I decided to share it because some people have been asking for something from me. So this is what I came up with. And it's what, I don't know if any of you guys raced the Arena Cross series, this is what it was hosted with. This system is exactly what I used. So to start off, you're gonna have these 6 options. Heat splitter with signups, heat splitter without signups, moto generator, and so on. These, the with signups, means that you have a file of UIDs that, like, say you had people sign up for your race, say you only want people who signed up to be able to race. So like if people who didn't sign up were in server, you don't want them to be able to race, you're going to use these sides. This side is if you just want to create a script out of everyone in the server for different motos for whatever reason. I mean, you could do that if you want to. So what a sign up file looks like, you just need to somehow get everyone's UID in a file. And a general sign up file is going to look like this. One UID for every line. It has to be like that. Don't stack them. It has to be 1 per line. They're not too difficult to make. I mean, you could just, if you get like a jot form or something, then it'll give you it'll give you this UID field in a CSV file, and that's how you would just copy and paste that row of the file into a text document, and it'll do this for you. Like, this is exactly what that is. So that's how you make a signups file. I recommend using these because why else would you want to make scripts? If you're just gonna have everyone in the server do a race, I mean, you might as well just not have a script because they're all gonna race anyways. But you can. That's what these buttons are for. So with that being said, the next thing that you're going to need is called the lineup file. And what this lineup file is it's something that the server makes. You can specify it in your server args, and it's in the server readme. And it all you have to do is add a line in your server args that gives a lineup file, and it looks like this. Basically, what this is it's just a file that will list all the players that are in the server, have recently left, or anything like that. It's a lineup. It updates every time you look at it. So unlike I think the other file is called, I'm not sure, but the other way to do it would be to just do a list players and then get it from your server log in your personal folder. But this is much easier. Just get the lineup file and it updates automatically. So once you have this file, all you gotta do is like save it to your desktop, or if you have it from somewhere else, you can just like control copy and paste all of it into a text file, name it whatever you want, but make sure the name has no spaces in it. Like lineup, the lineup.txt part, it can't be like line space up or anything. If there's spaces in it, it'll break the code. So those are actually all the files you need to start off with. So to begin with, I'm actually going to get rid of these for now, because we're going to make them. I'm actually going to get rid of this too, and this. So to generate the scripts the first time, like you're starting your race, it's time to start. You do a UID grab, which is just basically restarting the server so that it cleans up the lineup file from anybody who is left and is in the zombie state. And then you'll press like heat splitter. What heat splitter does is exactly what it sounds like. It splits people into heats evenly, and the moto generator just puts everybody in this Signup file into one race. So like that would be used for motos, as it suggests, the name suggests. So right now the moto generator is very easy. I mean, they're all very easy to follow the instructions, but the moto generator is just a lightened version of the heat splitter. So we're gonna go ahead and do an example with the heat splitter, because then you'll know how to do everything for the other parts. So if we click heat splitter, this is gonna pop up. It says drag and drop your lineup file. That file, remember, is this, the lineup file from the server. So drag and drop that in like this. Press enter. And it says drag and drop your signups file. That's this file, if you remember. And press enter. Enter a name for your Heat1 script. Now, what that means is what you want your MX server script to be named. Like say it was a round 10 Heat1, like those were here before, like that's what you name it. It's not what the actual race is called, but that's what you're gonna name it. So we're gonna say round 10 Heat1, just for oh no, let's not even do that. Let's just say Heat1. Heat1. You don't need to say .mxs, it'll do that for you. So just type Heat1, enter. And then Heat2 script, Heat2. Now the race name is what the people see when it gets broadcasted to the server. So we're gonna call it Heat1. I mean, you could use these to make semis, to make whatever you want, but we're just gonna call it Heat1 and then Heat2. I forgot to mention these cannot have spaces at all. The script names, but the race names can have whatever you want. So now enter a name for the UID export. What UID export, this UID export does is all the UIDs that it uses, it puts them in a file. That can be useful for some things, other things it's not, but it's there if you need it. So I just like to call that UIDs. And alternate UIDs are the UIDs that it doesn't use, so they weren't in the signups file. So we'll call that alt UIDs. What color would you like? Pretty self-explanatory. You just pick a color from the list. Can be, let's just say we're gonna, the title though, the title is like all the race information. It says like, oh, Heat1, 12 laps, whatever. So we're gonna make that green. Rider name, self-explanatory, the color the rider names will be, we're gonna make those red. What is the number of the track the race will be held on? This is the track instance number in server. So like, say 0 is like Millville, 1 is whatever. Or if you're hosting a race, it'll be like 0 is Millville 30 plus 2, 1 is Millville 15 plus 2, whatever, however you're doing your race lengths and classes. That's what this is. So let's just call it 0. And how many laps will the heats be? Just self-explanatory. Like, is it a 12-lap heat race, an 8-lap heat race? We're going to call it an 8-lap. And then how many people transfer? It's another self-explanatory. This doesn't actually do anything besides broadcast it to the people, and it's helpful for them, but it doesn't, like, tell the program, oh, 4 people are transferring. So yeah, well, let's call it 4. And the warm-up lap is you make a 1-lap version of whatever track you used. And that's what that is. So let's say that's instance 2. Now it's going to generate it and pop up your scripts folder. And you can see we named this Heat 1 and Heat 2, and it came up with all of these files and this race lineup thing. And in the UID export, you'll see the two UID files. So this example of the lineup file I had is from a long time ago, as is the signups file, but it still applies. I'm not sure exactly who's going to get put in the race, but we'll see. So for Heat 1, as you see, it automatically split. It says 5 riders. These are the people that got in. And for Heat 2, 6 riders. So that means that there was 11 people. So it puts the extra. It'll always put the extra in Heat 2. Just remember that. But yeah, as you see, it makes a script like I showed you guys in the script tutorial. It makes it exactly how I make mine, because that's what I use to make my scripts. So yeah, as we see, we put Heat 1. This is the race name right here, and then it has a dash for you, and then 8 laps. That's the number of laps we put, and then top 4 transfer. We put 4 people transfer. All right. So what these other files are, Heat 1 NR, well, you can just broadcast the next race, and it'll use whatever you used for the race name for both of those. And the warm-up says next race warm-up, but the one that doesn't have the NR in it, this is just a player list, and it sets the track to the warm-up track. So it gives you out the lineup, and it's the warm-up lap. It has that for both. This race lineup thing, it's particularly at the moment, all it does is put everyone's name that got included and also tell them what heat they're in. You could use that if you want. I don't personally use it. I thought I would, but I never did. So as you can see, the UID file is we had 11 people get in, and it has 11 UIDs in here. These are the other people who were in server at the time that weren't signed up. So that's what they look like, basically. So now I'll go over the rest of these functions. Moto generator is just the same thing, like I said, of heat splitter, just with one race. And you can use those to make like LCQs and main events. So it's you just follow the instructions and it's pretty self-explanatory, but these two are a little bit different. Track instances, it's just something I added because I needed it, and what you can do is enter one track info name, so say like all crest, and you don't need to put .track info, just type the track info name. And say I wanted a 3 lap of all crest, a 5 lap of all crest, and a 1 lap of all crest. And then press enter, just press enter and don't type anything in when you're done. And here it'll make a track instances script. And you can add those tracks just by putting this in your server folder and executing that track instances script. So it's just something useful. You don't really need it, but I use it a lot. And the last thing to go over here is the transfer script. It's useful, but at the same time it's kind of confusing because it doesn't put people in order of how they finished in the race. It just puts them in the race. So when I say that, I mean you just all you need for this one is the lineup file, and you're gonna want to take this lineup file while while that race is going on. So say I'm getting the transfers from Heat 1, I'm going to take the lineup file from while Heat 1 is going on. And then I press enter. And it's going to say enter name for the transfer UIDs export. What this is the same thing here. The UID export, except it's for transfers. So like I'm just going to call this one transfers, which is what I normally do. And the other one I call non-transfers. So now it's going to go down the lineup file. And if you look at our lineup file, whoever's in player mode at the current time in the lineup file is going it's gonna give you their name, and it's only gonna give you their name. So like as you see, spectator, his name was above mine, but it didn't say anything about him. So all you have to type here is yes, and the brackets thing, it'll put them into like a bracket. It was for Arena Cross, and I just decided to include it in case people want to do brackets also. And it'll just put them into another UID file for brackets. I'm just gonna say no for now. And then as you see, the only other player at this time the lineup file was taken was Jack. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no, just so you can see what it does, and I'm also gonna say no again. So now it's done, and what it's gonna pop up with is transfers and non-transfers, like I named them. Transfers, as you see, it only put me in there, and non-transfers, it put Jack. So what you would do with these is treat them like a sign-up file, and use them with like a moto generator to make like an LCQ and a main, or like with a heat splitter to go from heats to semis. You could use it however you want. It's there for you. But yeah, I don't always use that thing because, like I said, it will not put them in order at all of how they qualified, and that's kind of, some people don't like that for gate selection. But if you're just trying to get a race going, like, this isn't that bad of a thing to have. If you do want to put them in like order, what I would do is when you get them out of the heat, like just copy this entire part, like cut it and then paste it into another text file with a script. And yeah, it's kind of a lot of work, but that's how you could do it if you want them to all be in order. So that took quite a bit of time. I didn't think it would take so long, but that's how you use this program. I'll put a link to it. Like I said, use it as you want. Use it as your own risk, because I don't have any problems with it, but there could be some kind of thing I'm not saying in the code, and there could be a problem. Feel free to edit the code however you want. Like, these are the source code files, and this is just the thing that puts it all together. So it's pretty well documented in there, so if you know what you're doing, go ahead and edit it. I wouldn't recommend editing it if you don't know Python, because you're just going to mess it up probably. But, yeah. You can edit it however you want, I don't care. Just do whatever you want with it. Yeah, guys, thank you. Hope you like this, hope it helps you out. Hope it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, tell me in the comments, and I'll do my best to fix it. Alright, thanks, guys.